If you are someone who is an aspiring music maker and looking to get into the music industry as either a music producer, beat maker, artist, whatever it is, I'm here to tell you about some things that I've learned along the way when applying my trade as a music producer in the music industry for the past decade. Information that might be useful for you to know now, because I can guarantee the sort of stuff I'm talking about in this video is not taught on an educational level when it comes to music production or songwriting courses. This is all stuff I wish I knew when I first got into making music and wanting to apply my trade in the music industry as a music producer. So hopefully by watching this video to the end, you get some substance that you can take with you and help better your career as a music producer. Now, firstly, who am I to be telling you this information? Well, my name is Joe Gautry and I am a music producer and beat maker from the UK. And over the past 5 years alone, I have completed over 900 projects as a music producer on freelance sites. And I've also been growing a beat store, which I've documented the whole journey, showing different ways how it's possible to make money as a music maker in the industry. Now, this isn't a flex, this is just trying to give you a little bit of context when it comes to me giving this information to you to help emphasize the fact this information actually could be helpful for you. So without further ado, let's get into these 5 tips. Now, one of the things I wish I really knew as a music producer at the start of my career was about finding your lane. Now, what I mean by that is you might have a specific style or genre that you maybe specialize in. That is the thing that you should really start to push all the way down to the most specific service possible. Or if you're a beat maker, try to make your beats as tailored to a specific style as possible. The reason this is, if you just try to do what everyone else is doing in the industry, you're going to be a small fish in a big pond. Now, you'd rather be a big fish in a small pond. Yes, the market size might be a little bit smaller, but it's so much easier as a new coming music maker to be able to showcase your talents and get in front of people if you have a less competition. To give you an example, I use this exact method not only for my Fiverr freelance services, where I sold specific services and specific type beats, and the income I now generate from both of them aspects enables me to do this full time. Now, something else I really wish I knew as a music producer at the start is you really do need to put your ego aside. Now, even someone with the smallest ego has to understand that when you're working with artists as a music producer, there are things that you think you should be doing and shouldn't be doing in production, something that sounds right and doesn't, ideas which to you might sound like the best thing ever, but to the artist might not be what they want. The one thing you've got to understand is when you're working on a project with an artist, this is the artist's vision, not yours. And it's all up to the artist about how much influence they want you to have on the project without veering away from their first initial vision. How the track sounded in their head when they started writing it. And that's not them being snobby, it's just they've got this thing that they want to bring to life in their own way, and it's your job as a producer to help them out in any way they can, even if what you think is the right decision isn't. It's all about being a team player and helping the artist out. That is the best way to get effective communication and to get any project across the line. Okay, something else I wish I was told at the start of my music producer career is how long it actually takes in reality to get a full sustainable income as a music producer. It took me 4 years of hard grafting every day to be able to get a full-time income as a music producer, and what I'm not afraid to admit is I had many part-time or full-time jobs along that way as well. There was a lot of sacrifices for times in the day that had to be done in able just to keep myself afloat financially while trying to grow a sustainable career as a music producer. The most effective way I found was to start the full-time job, and any free time I had, start uploading freelance services, start making beats, and then as things start to build traction, you can move down to a 4-day-a-week job, give yourself an extra day in the week, and then go down to a 2-day-a-week job when the work gets even more busy, and eventually get to that stage, which is the most amazing feeling, by the way, that you can pack in any job you have and do this full time. Just being honest with you, because that's the exact journey I had to take, and I hate this narrative that if you want to do something that you love full time, you have to sometimes jump in the deep end. You don't always have to. Sometimes you can get to the deep end by walking through the shallow end. Okay, something that's good to know as an aspiring music producer looking to get into the industry is to be able to have a sustainable income as a music producer. Sometimes you have to have multiple sources of income. I myself, as a full-time music producer, have at least 5 different sources of income, ranging from freelance services to beat making to stock music licensing to streaming to YouTube ad revenue. It's the combination of all of these which allow me not only to sustain a full-time income as a music producer, but at the same time eliminate any worries about any of them different aspects of income having a bad month. For example, freelance services is by far my biggest income, but it dips up and down depending on seasons, time of year, and how busy it gets. But it doesn't mean my income has to suffer, because sometimes when one income suffers, another one might have a really good month. So overall, it balances out, and it gives you a really good idea of what your base earnings is as a music producer once you've been doing it for a number of years. Especially if you have a job, it's a really good indicator to know when you can actually quit the day job and do this full time without giving yourself any financial worries. One thing that's really important as well as a music producer, if you want to get more work, is to realize that content is king nowadays. You'll be watching this video right now through social media platforms, and this is the way to reach new clients. I'm trying to reach new subscribers by doing this content, and it's the same premise if you want to do work. If you want the work, you got to let people know that you're there. Now, this could be through many different ways. You could be showcasing your talent. You could be talking about topics which are specific to your niche and your target audience, making short form and long form content, because doing this has enabled me to work with loads of artists which I wouldn't have been able to if I didn't post content. In 2024, TikTok has been a very effective way for me to sell beats, for example, going live on TikTok and making the beats live, and really starting to build a loyal base of artists who actually want to collaborate with me and use my beats on their tracks. So don't have your head stuck in another era. Content is definitely the way to go. Yes, some social media platforms are more popular than others, but if you don't get yourself out there, how does anyone know that you have services to sell or music to make with them? Yeah, guys, I hope these tips really do help you if you're someone who's at the start of your journey, or maybe you've hit a little bit of a rut in your career and you want to try and figure out and navigate your way into the industry. I really do wish you the best of luck, and as always, keep making music, and I'll see you in the next video.